The Ministry of Defence and Military Veterans has confirmed that Minister Thandi Modise has received a request from her predecessor, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula, for the department to assist her with legal representation in her corruption case. Mapisa-Nqakula is facing 12 counts of corruption and 1 of money laundering after a defence contractor alleged she solicited bribes during her tenure as Minister of Defence. In a statement on Friday, the ministry confirms that the former National Assembly Speaker Mapisa-Nqakula's request came through the office of a head of legal service in the South African National Defence Force, Major General Eric Mnisi, who actioned it prior to seeking counsel from the minister or the accounting officer secretary for the defence, Dr. Thobekile Kamete. For more on this conversation, we're now joined by legal practitioner Mpumelelo Zikalala from Zikalala Attorneys for more on this issue. And he joins us now via our video link. Mpumelelo, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. I mean, firstly, let's start off here. We have the former minister and former speaker now requesting for legal assistance from the department in which she was charged under. What is your take on this issue?
Good evening to you, also good evening to our viewers. I don't think that the application is going to be approved. Remember that even though you can be provided with legal assistance, however, it must be for the interest of the department. So it would say, in instances where you are acting on behalf of the department in the interest of the department, and then the department is sued, it would be unfair for you to take care of those legal costs from your own pocket. However, in instances in which you are not acting within the course and scope of your job description, because part of it is not that you must engage in alleged corrupt activities, then you are on your own. You're going to pay for your own legal fees, and the department is not going to go into that field. We must also remember the nature of the proceedings that you are facing today, or that the former speaker is facing, is criminal charges against her, not against the department. So the department will have no business assisting her in any of her legal fees. It is unfortunately a battle that she will have to fight on her own.
And this, reminds me of the case of former President Jacob Zuma in 2021 when he approached the courts and he was denied legal assistance from the state. What makes this case and this matter similar or different, when it comes to Mapisa-Nqakula now also requesting for legal assistance?
Well, it's the nature of the legal proceedings in which these two individuals are seeking assistance from. If it was a civil action in which the department is now being sued, and part and parcel of the litigants, the former speaker is then listed, then she would say, when I was signing those documents, I was doing so on behalf of the department. It was the department that benefited 100% from the transaction that took place. So it's only fair that the department comes to my aid when I need to defend myself legally if there's allegations that something went wrong pertaining to the contract. However, the exception to the rule is that if it's criminal proceedings and criminal proceedings against me, then the department is not supposed to pay for my legal fees because I'm the one who have alleged to have done something which is wrong, and I'm the one that should be able to face the music. It would be completely irrational if any government department would pay for a persons that are being investigated by it or investigated by law enforcement agencies. It wouldn't make sense at all. So I think that's the similarities to say, well, even though the general rule say you must be assisted, but the nature of the assistance stops when the eyes are looking at you and you have alleged to have broken the law. You must face the music on your own on that one.
And when it comes to her now officially being a retiree from a public office, what role does that play in her request now?
I think it makes matters even worse because one of the things they're going to say is that you are no longer part of us. You are not defending or promoting our interests when you engage in those transactions. We have no business dealing with you whatsoever. There's even been a gap in which you weren't been the Speaker of Parliament. So you must have amassed your own wealth on your own. And whenever things are going to come back pertaining to what you have done, regardless of how long it was, regardless of whether you were still within the department or not, if it pertains to you and you are sued in your personal capacity and not in your official capacity as an ex-Minister of Defense, then we're not going to enter into that terrain. You must face those processes and legal processes on your own, and definitely the legal costs are going to be covered by you and not by the department.
I'm sure also South Africans are asking themselves, I mean, if I don't have money to represent myself, then I should go to legal aid. Is this an option that the former minister has?
Yes, it is an option. Application to legal aid is open to anyone, but the problem that you might find is that when you go to legal aid, they apply a process or a test of affordability. Then they would say, how much money comes in, how many assets do you have to even qualify for you to be assisted, or can you be able to raise legal assistance on your own, and then on that basis, that is how legal assistance could be provided. The second problem that we usually find is that even if legal aid says yes, you do not get an opportunity to choose the legal practitioner of your choice to represent you. So legal aid is going to come and say, these are the individuals that are in our panel, this is the person that you have chosen for you, and this is the person who is going to go to court and defend you on the criminal proceedings that you might have. So even though she might go to legal aid, I don't think she's going to suffice in terms of the affordability test. I don't think she's going to suffice in terms of any other maybe appeals that she may have moving forward. So I do think this is one matter that the legal fees are going to be paid for by her, because there's no other option that she has than to cough up the bill on her own.
And looking at, the statement from the current Defence Minister, Thandi Modise, saying that, of course, she was not alerted to this request by her predecessor, and it was done through Major General Eric Mnisi. Does the Major General then need approval from the current minister to action a request of this nature?
You would need, though, an approval from the Director General of the department, because it is expenses which are going to be incurred by the department. And the number one thing which is going to be asked is that if you want to include this particular legal cost as part of our contingent liabilities, show us where we play a role, show us where we need to defend our legal interest, and then certainly be able to entertain it. Other than that, then it doesn't matter anyway. We are not supposed to be part and parcel of it. I think there may have been a controversy of certain legislation and certain policies that might have been done by the person that okayed it. And I think the minister is correct to say, please make sure that I'm alerted and I'm well informed as to these type of matters, because at the end of the day, I'm interested to make sure that this department moves in a normal manner. Now, if you are going to not highlight those important things to me, when I have these particular inquiries from members of the media, it seems as if I do not have control of what is happening within my department. So she was supposed to get at least a brief to say, Minister, this is the request that you have received. This is how we are dealing with it. Most importantly, we are dealing with it in line with the applicable legislation and policies, and there's no monies which are going to be paid from the department towards the ex-minister or the ex-speaker, because it's a matter that does not fall within our ambit. We are not involved in any manner. It's simply a private matter that she has to take care of it on her own.
And I'm sure someone at home is asking themselves, does this request from the former minister, Mapisa-Nqakula, make any sense? Because, this is somebody who is alleged to have defrauded the same department who she now is seeking for that department to assist her in her legal fees.
Not at all, which is why the request is irrational. How can the department then go and pay for legal fees to an individual or of an individual that is alleged to have made the department to suffer loss? So it's through these allegations in which it's being alleged that the legal interests of the department were not looked after by her. It is through these allegations in which it is alleged that the department would have suffered expenses and lost quite huge amounts of money. So it is on those bases in which it would be irrational then for the department to say, well, you've done us wrong. That's what we are alleging to the state. However, to be able to prove or to make sure that you're able to participate in these proceedings, then we're going to pay for your legal costs as you go there, and the legal practitioners of your choice engaging in this particular legal battle. So it does not make sense at all, and is completely outside the ambit of what would be accepted. Yes, I do agree. Generally, you may find certain instances in which departments will pay for certain individuals' legal fees, but it must be in instances in which that particular individual was acting in the best interest of the department. They needed to protect the legal interest of the department, and the exception to that would be if the allegations are that you have defrauded us, then definitely we're not going to be part and parcel of your legal team. Certainly not pay for any legal expenses that you are going to incur.
Mr. Zikalala, thank you so much for your time and your contributions here on SABC News tonight. That is a legal practitioner, Mpumelelo Zikalala from Zikalala Attorneys, just giving us his insight there when it comes to that request by the former Minister of Defence and former Speaker, Mapisa-Nqakula.